Hello, my wonderful angling friends, and welcome back to the channel. Your old mate is here, buzzing with excitement, because we're about to unpack the ultimate fishing forecast for the 30th of November, 2025, right across our incredible continent, Australia. This day, friends, is shaping up to be truly special. With late spring pushing into early summer, we've got steadily rising water temperatures, a healthy, waxing gibbous moon encouraging strong tides and biological activity levels through the roof. I'm talking about conditions that scream fish on. We're diving deep into the conditions across this vast continent to give you the ultimate edge, uncovering exactly where to cast your line, what to tie on, and why these tactics will put fish in your net. So grab a cuppa, sit back, and let's talk about catching some fish. First up, let's talk about some of our absolute favorites, starting with the cunning flathead. For the 30th of November, you'll typically find them camouflaged and lurking in the warmer, shallower waters, especially over sand flats adjacent to healthy weed beds and along those crucial drop-offs and channel edges in our estuaries and coastal systems. Why there? Because these ambush predators love to wait for baitfish to be flushed out by the incoming tide, which will be influenced by our strong moon phase. A simple yet incredibly effective approach is to use a soft plastic grub or a realistic prawn imitation, worked slowly and meticulously along the bottom. Cast it out, allow it to settle, and retrieve with short hops and pauses. If bait is your preference, small pilchards or fresh prawns are always winners. Focus on those tidal movements, as flathead will often sit at the edges of the current, waiting for an easy meal. Next, for a bit of fun in the shallows, let's focus on whiting. Both sand and yellowfin whiting are around in strong numbers in November, and are particularly active on the run-in tide over clear shallows. You'll want to be casting your lines in clear shallow banks around sand hills and into the gutters on our beaches and protected bays. Light tackle is key here, friends, a simple running sinker rig with a small, sharp hook. Best baits are fresh worms, pippies, or peeled prawns. The warmer water and consistent tide are fantastic for these tasty little fighters. Now, for those looking for something a bit bigger, the snapper bite should be solid, especially around our offshore reefs and deeper coastal structures. The rising water temperatures and increased baitfish activity mean these prized fish are in a strong feeding mode, building up reserves before the intense summer heat. Try paternoster rigs with pilchards or squid, or if you're a lure angler, soft plastics like large jerk shades or curly tails worked slowly off the bottom can be deadly. Look for prominent reef edges and bommies, particularly during those early morning and late afternoon bite windows. And for our friends in the tropical north, it's prime time for barramundi. With the start of the wet season approaching, these iconic fighters will be super active in estuaries, mangrove creeks, and around submerged snags. The warm water, around 31 degrees Celsius, is exactly what they love. Target them with shallow diving hard body lures, soft plastics rigged weedless, or live bait such as mullet or prawns. Focus on areas with good cover and active baitfish, especially on the top of the tide when they push into the mangroves. Let's break down the conditions that are shaping this forecast. Weather. Across most of Australia, November 30th, 2025, will see generally warm to very warm conditions. Daytime highs will likely range between 20 to 33 degrees Celsius in popular fishing destinations. While the tropical north is entering its rainy season, bringing potential showers, southern regions might see occasional rain, but nothing to deter you, more like passing showers. Wind-wise, expect gentle breezes, possibly increasing to moderate at times, which is perfect for most fishing styles. Atmospheric pressure, from my experience in late spring transitions, tends to be relatively stable after any frontal systems pass, and stable pressure is almost always a good sign for a consistent bite. Consistent warm weather encourages fish to feed actively. Water temperature. This is a big one, guys. Coastal water temperatures across Australia are steadily rising. In the northern tropical areas, we're talking a balmy 28 to 31 degrees Celsius, making fish incredibly active. On the east coast, from Sydney to Brisbane, you're looking at a comfortable 21 to 24 degrees Celsius. Even down south, around Melbourne and Adelaide, waters are mild, around 15 to 20 degrees Celsius, though Tasmania remains cooler. This warming trend significantly boosts fish metabolism, telling them it's time to feed heavily before the peak of summer. Moon fades. On November 30th, 2025, we are in a waxing gibbous phase. The moon's illuminated surface will be between 73 and 76% and growing. In fishing folklore, a waxing moon leading up to the full moon is often associated with improving fish activity as the moon's gravitational pull on the tides begins to strengthen. This means stronger tidal movements, particularly around sunrise and sunset, creating excellent feeding windows as bait is moved around. Overall activity. Taking all these dynamic factors into account, biological activity is high. Most species are in a strong feeding mode as they build up reserves for the coming summer. Beyond our highlighted species, many other inshore and offshore predators will be on the hunt. Even our freshwater trout anglers in the southern highlands will find active fish, with rivers hitting ideal temperatures of around 10 to 20 degrees Celsius, making dry fly opportunities more common. Considering the generally stable and comfortably warm weather, consistently rising water temperatures, the strengthening tidal movement influenced by the waxing moon, and the overall high levels of fish activity across various species, my expert assessment for fishing on November 30th, 2025, across most of Australia, is a solid good to very good. The key to maximizing your success will be to remain flexible, observe immediate local conditions, and meticulously adapt your tactics to target the most active species in their preferred feeding zones. So, my friends, get out there. I wish you all the very best. Tight lines and absolutely no tails, no scales. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Smash that like button and let me know in the comments below. What are your plans for the 30th of November? What are you hoping to catch? And what's your go-to lure or bait for late spring fishing in Australia? Share your wisdom and let's keep this awesome fishing community growing. See you next time.